If you guys remember, I said I had a few new series popping off in season 5, and I'm gonna test some stuff to see if you guys like it. This is called Poppin versus Reddit. We're gonna go on the Marvel Rivals Reddit, see what people are talking about, and I'm gonna give my opinion on some stuff. And you let me know in the comments below what you think about stuff as well. So the first post we're looking at is by Tonks Jr. They said, "I'm so tired of zombies, dude. Making you beat the hardest difficulty 4 more times when 4 of the 5 characters are severely unbalanced for it is so stupid." I kind of agree, not to that part, but I agree to the 4 out of the 5 characters are kind of unbalanced. They are trying to buff and nerf them, but I understand where you're coming from. Really, Blade is like the easiest one to pull it off with. After that, it is a little bit difficult. They continue to say, having 2 bosses that can chain their stun attackers is beyond stupid, let alone while an army of squids and other zombies are also trying to kill you. Again, valid points. And it doesn't even make sense. Why are the epic title challenges harder to do than the legendary one? Also kind of makes sense. If they don't have the time to fix zombies before it ends, they need to move the challenges down to Nightmare 3 because it's so bad. I liked zombies before. This second wave of rewards genuinely makes me hope they never touch PvE again. That's a lot to unpack. That's a lot of animosity and just... I feel you. I feel it. So I personally am someone who really enjoyed the PvE mode, but I'm not someone who enjoyed it so much so that I continued to play it after the first wave, as they were saying. The titles are cool. They just don't suit my style, so I didn't bother to get them. But I do understand how you could feel this way, especially because it's supposed to be a for fun mode, and they essentially made it harder to do things later on. But you got to keep in mind, this was the first one that they ever did, and it is unbalanced. They know it was only made in 6 months. They talked about this, and they said when they bring it back next year, or whenever they plan to bring it back again, they're going to do a way better job. And I think feedback like this is important. So it might seem like this person is complaining and whatnot, but for like someone who actually works at NetEase, and if they were to see this post, this is why Reddit is important, and like speaking on Twitter is important and stuff like that, because they can fix their game and make it better for everybody. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that feel this way, and I don't even see it as complaining. I see it as like your voice and your opinion, and I feel where you're coming from. It should be more fun. However, I do like the difficulty thing. So maybe if they made it have most of the things capable of getting kind of like easy, basically. Kind of how they said, you know, the titles are harder to do than the legendary one. Like if they make the legendary one one of the hardest ones to get, and then made the other titles easier, that would kind of make more sense. But it did make it so that you have the legendary one easier, and then like it was kind of like it was tacked on. So I understand where they're coming from. I think if they disperse the rewards differently, and again they balance these characters, as I was saying when I was streaming the mode, that they need to make sure that all characters are kind of viable. I think it would do wonders. But again, it's the first one. They already talked about a lot of this stuff that you said, but I didn't really hear much about the titles and things like that. So I feel where you're coming from. Again, what do you guys think? Do you guys feel like zombies is a little bit too hard? You guys love zombies, you don't care? Or you guys feel like, I don't really like having the titles tied to a limited mode, or I don't like it being too hard, and things like that? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Let's move to the next one. So this next post is by Ponyboy424_. Now they have an image and it has a creator's name in it, and I just don't want people to talk about creators. That's why I don't usually put their names in my video unless it's important. But I'm pretty sure they're gonna rehash what the post says in their post. So let's go through and read it. The title was, they're tired of the superiority complex and selfishness in Marvel Rivals. So it starts off with saying, I've already posted about this, only for my comments to be flooded with whiny DPS mains, but genuinely, we've got this, back off. I'm pretty sure they're referring to Gambit, because that's pretty much what that post was saying. Oh, but strats always complain that no one wants to heal. Now we can play this role. No, girl. That's not true, Ellen. Wait, what? Where did this go to? I've never had a problem finding someone to play heals with me in ranked. We complain that you run a 3-dive DPS comp every match and then ping us 24/7 while whining you're not getting enough heals. It's a thankless role that requires overcompensating for dumb, selfish decisions. Ooh, Lord Jesus. Okay, so y'all know that I've climbed every single role, and I've climbed both on PC and console, and I'm an attorney/1 above all players. So let me just get all that out the way right now. I don't usually say that type of stuff because I don't want to be like, oh, I made it, I'm this and I'm right and you're wrong. That's not what I'm saying. But I will say that being someone who's climbed with strategists, it's kind of right, kind of wrong. The thing is, supports generally only see things from their perspective, from their goggle lens, right? But this same thing can be said for every role. You know, supports sometimes don't do a lot of things correctly and everybody else has to deal with it. So I'm not saying that one role is ruining the game because that's incorrect, but the same feelings that's in that paragraph is for every role. When it's for DPS and tank when strats do something. If a tank is about to do something and your strat ults and gets one-shotted, there you go. It has nothing to do, like, strategists can play poorly. I think a lot of strategist mains feel like, well, my team sucks, I have to do all that I can, and y'all not helping me getting dove. And strats, you don't really play that well all the time. And it might seem like you do, and but you shouldn't be babysat, all right? We shouldn't be holding your hand. You have the tools to play the game as well. Yes, your team should help you, okay? I do understand where you're coming from. Having 3 divers on your team, it sucks. But usually, what most strategist players do is kind of sit and expect to get help and assistance. And that's not how you play strategist. I'm not saying that's you. I'm just saying I've heard these complaints before. And a lot of the times when you look at people's replays that make these complaints, they're not really doing their best to play well. It's kind of just they're supporting the match, not trying to carry the match, if that makes sense. All right, let's keep going. He's too hard to play. He's basically a DPS. Not really, in my opinion. Says the Punisher main who can't shoot Iron Man out of the sky. That's harder than it sounds, by the way. First off, he's not. Facts. But I love this idea. I keep seeing that aiming with strats, Luna, Ultron, Mantis, is somehow easier than hit scans or Punisher. Hit scans are harder to hit than those 3 that you just said. Luna tosses out 3 shots at once, so even if you miss the first one, you'll probably land the second and third, or if you miss the first 2, you'll land the third. So it's not that difficult with her. Ultron, he literally has a laser. It's very easy to hit his. And then with Mantis, it's the travel time that's weird with Mantis. But Mantis has so many shots, you can kind of hold it like a machine gun and it will hit. If you're trying to like snipe with Mantis, not gonna do that well, but the trick is to hold it and continue to fire and aim that way. Hit scan heroes are harder than projectile heroes because there's a lot more room for error with projectiles. There's a lot less room for error with hit scan. So I just wanted to kind of put that one out there. In terms of Gambit being difficult, I don't think that he's basically a DPS at all. I think he's a strategist. Let's keep going. I think it's great that you might be able to play a harder / different role. And I get that he's a new character, but you're not gonna switch to strat, or you're not gonna switch to a strat main. You're just not. So this fake complex that you've been waiting for Gambit to be a strat main player is dumb and inherently selfish, which is surprising for insta-lock DPS. I said this once and I'll say it again, most real strategist players aren't gonna play Gambit. That character wasn't designed for strategists. So even if it is the role, people aren't, they prefer to play what strategists are real strategists. This goes for every role. There's some characters in each role that isn't really for that specific player base. So Angela for tanks, honestly, a lot of tank mains that play Magneto and, you know, a lot of people that actually truly play tank, they might not even touch Angela. And if they do, it's only for a little bit because Angela's not a real, she's funky, she's niche. When it comes to DPS, I think one of the nicher characters is Mr. Fantastic. Not every DPS player is gonna play Mr. Fantastic. It just is what it is. Gambit, again, it's not really a strategist character, right? So like each role specifically has different characters that fit other role niches because they want other people to switch between roles. So this isn't just this came in my role and it's mine. No. That was the intention. Make Gambit look like a DPS. Make Gambit look like he takes a lot of skill. Make Gambit look like he's really flashy and finessey. So we can get some more players to try the role of strategist and try to play strategist. So what you're saying is actually what they're trying to do. There's no such thing as we drop a character in one role and that's that. That role, Gambit was definitely a DPS and mine character, without a doubt, because most strategists that are being played do not require that much button input, so to speak. Let's keep going. Support can be a genuinely easy role to play. There are healbot characters, pick those if you need to. We don't need DPS mains to learn the role. Go back to DD and Blade. Better yet, insta-lock some tanks because that's the role people actually need to learn to flex. I agree with that tank comment. I'm not gonna lie with you. Yes, pick tanks. It's funny because the superiority thing, it's kind of seeming like it's coming from this post where it's like, get out of my support role. Wait a second. Why can't other people support? Why can't someone who doesn't like support play support now because Gambit's in it? Maybe then they would like other characters. For me, I typically play characters because I like the character, not necessarily the kit. So when I climbed Strategist, it was a struggle for me because I didn't really like any characters. It wasn't a struggle like it was difficult. It was more of a struggle for me personally because I didn't like specific characters in that role. I had to play them anyway, just like I had to with tank and DPS. There's some characters that if you really want to hit high ranks with, you do have to play these characters you might not want to play. But I really like Gambit, so I'm definitely playing Strategist more. The devs delivered on a character that's playable, can get kills, and has good healing output. Please, for the love of God, let us have some fun for once. Let us get some kills for once. So this player clearly does not play Strategist at a high level because every single Strategist can get kills. That's not saying this player is bad, not saying anything like that. I'm just saying at a high level, all strategists can get kills and all strategists do. There is not one character in this game that's a strategist that just does not get KOs. When you think about heal botting, that's usually a low rank to mid rank type of thing. And when I say low rank, I'm speaking of like bronze to platinum. And when I say mid rank, I'm speaking of like diamond to celestial. So like so diamond, GM, low celestial, like usually that's kind of like the mid rank in my opinion. Heal botting doesn't usually happen at super high ranks because people know that that's not possible. You need to play the game. And you're not going to be able to climb and carry hard. You're not going to be able to really carry a match heal botting. This is why a lot of people actually play with pre-mades or duos, especially if they're smurfing, if they're better than you, because you can heal bot and they'll do all the work for you. But if you truly want to be a good player without getting carried by others, without having friends do all the work for you, you need to learn how to play your role, whether it's strategist, DPS, or tank. You need to learn how to play that role and play it really, really well. No matter what strategist I play, I am getting KOs because it's about opportunity rather than just damage. Gambit isn't about damage. He doesn't really do a lot. It's about opportunity. He's able to capitalize on it a lot faster than other characters in the game that are on strategists. So that isn't really, I don't really follow that one. The last piece of this is if you're a flex player and regularly adapt to the needs of the game instead of just instant locking one character or role, you're excused from criticism, and I hope we queue up. I feel like you should just be able to play whatever you want to play. If a tank or a DPS wants to play strategist, okay. If a tank comes out and the strategist wants to play tank, if DPS comes out and the strategist wants to play DPS, I don't really see why we can't cross. I don't know. I was with you for a little bit, but then it just felt like, you know, we just hate people at this point. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. As I said before, how do you guys feel about this? I see where they're coming from. Don't get me wrong. It's just maybe how it was phrased seemed a bit aggressive and kind of missing the point in terms of what they were trying to achieve there. But again, let me know in the comments below. Let's move to the next one. So this one says, really simple, inevitable video 768. They said the placement system still sucks in my opinion. We never had one, so I don't know how it still sucks, but I see where you're coming from. Only going by wins is just ridiculous. I can get a ton of damage and healing, but because someone else plays badly, I'm ranking down? Just sad. Regardless of if it's going by wins or points, and I'm pretty sure it is going by points, you just can't see them. You're still gonna rank down due to this situation. And this isn't even just a Marvel Rivals thing. This is just competitive games in general. Sometimes people just don't want to play the game right. Sometimes people just want to play things they don't know how to play. You're gonna have those bad games, but you should consistently win. Regardless, if you deserve to climb, if you deserve to stay where you are, you should see consistency. For me personally, the placements seem fine. They seem like normal placements. I get a lot of people that play Marvel Rivals don't really play other competitive games, but I've played other games that have placements, and it's pretty much the same exact system. You play the matches that you can't really see the point gain, and you win after. The only difference with this one is that you could see the progress real time. Usually placements don't let you see anything until you finish. So this is definitely an interesting approach. But I will say, for those of you that are worried about points, just like this person, it's there. You're not just getting based off wins. You have to kind of think of it as points. So if I were a gold player who started off in gold, right, and I win one, realistically, it's probably about, I don't know, maybe like 29 points, 30 points, sometimes higher if you are really just smurfing out the window. For me, I was playing on an alt, so I was smurfing out the window, but I was trying to learn Gambit. So it's about what, like 40 points, win another 40 points, right? That's 80. And you win another, you climbed. That's 3 games to get through 1 rank. That seems normal for gold. 3 games to get through gold 3, that seems pretty normal. So it's not really about the wins. It is giving you points. I think it's giving you more points. So I think if anybody was confused about that, it's not going based off wins. That being said, I do understand where they're coming from when it comes for like my team storing my placements, but that's not really a new or special thing. That's just how competitive games work, and it doesn't matter what developers do, there's always players like that. But of course, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I actually think that the placements are good. I like them, and I really like not having to drop 9 ranks every single season. On top of that, if people are having a hard time in placements, it goes to show that we still have some inflation issues to deal with. And I'm not saying this player, because I know sometimes people be twisting words, I'm not saying this player is inflated. I'm just saying if people are struggling with placements, if people are struggling with climbing, that's normal because it's a new season. So people are still getting, mashed together and weeded out. But also it goes to show that that wasn't really a rank you deserved in the first place. So I think it's doing what it's supposed to do. I haven't seen any issues with my games entirely. But maybe you guys feel different. Maybe you guys think it's different. But it seems like the amount of wins that I usually would need to break through a rank is the exact same as the amount of wins that I would need in placements to break through a rank. It doesn't seem to be much different. I think we just are getting a little bit of point boost to get to the next rank. So, and then if it isn't by points, and it's only like 3 wins to get you a rank, that's even better, right? I'd just rather take them 3 wins and keep it moving. But I just know you get a lot more points when you're a lower rank. So that's why I'm thinking of it that way. Anyway, again, let me know in the comments below. Let's move to the next one. The next post is by Main Avocado 3385. I love me some avocado. Look, high five to you. They said, could somebody who's better than me answer this question? I got you. I'm not saying I'm better than you, but I got you. Genuinely, what is Ultron decent at? I've been maining him since release, but now I'm wondering for what? He can't heal his teammates, he can't heal himself, his movement sucks, his ult is subpar, and his damage is mid in team fights. What is the deal with this character? Well, Ultron's usually built for pressure. The way you gotta play Ultron is more by pressure. You need to make sure you're pressuring the right target at the right time. I think a lot of players that play strategist, well, not even a strategist issue. I think a lot of players in general have target priority issues, and it's something that you have to learn and work on through time, but it really makes more of an impact when you do it with Ultron. So you do need to learn how to prioritize your target. You also need to realize that when you put a drone on someone, you need to sit next to that drone and heal yourself. So usually what I see a lot of Ultron players do is just hover and fly really high. But what you want to do, especially if you start getting a little bit low, is put the drone on the support that you're standing next to and just drop down. If you're getting dove, put the drone on the support while you're getting dove and just hover the support, because you're healing yourself that way, and the support most likely will heal you as well. When it comes to using your ultimate, you're not using your ultimate to save things. You're using your ultimate to end fights or to pressure and clear out the area or to split the team up. He is more of because he's so simple, he's one of those characters that require a lot more thought to make work. This is why you might see issues. Characters in this game that are very mechanical and have a lot going on with them don't really need to do that much work because their kit does it for them. But when you're thinking about a character that's very simple, something like Adam Warlock, something like Ultron, something like Captain America, something like, I'm thinking of a DPS that's very simple. Punisher, the way that they play is not very expressive, right? It's more about where they're positioning, how they're playing, movement wise, and just all that extra stuff. So to answer your question, the character is very good at pressuring. You need to figure out what is the target priority, who you should pressure. I actually had a coaching session with someone who was playing Ultron. We went over all of this. So if you would like coaching, or if you like a free replay review, check the link down below. And this is something that you can ask and we can talk about it and stuff like that. That goes for everybody, right? If you want coaching or a free replay review, check the link below. I'm just talking about this person because they wanted help with Ultron specifically. But yeah, that's pretty much what you do. When it comes to your shielding and healing your allies, it really depends on how much damage you're taking. But I think a lot of the times people play moment to moment. You kind of have to think about the stuff beforehand. So have the drone on the person going beforehand. Don't just try to swap the drone to heal the person low, because he's not going to be successful. He's not a burst healer. He's a sustain healer. Sustain heals need to make sure that they start before the person gets low. Thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. Make sure you hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed this and you want to see more of this series. I mean, there's a lot of Marvel Rivals posts, so we can get down to some nitty gritty. Thank you guys for watching. Till next time, you know what I always say. Thank you guys for doing what? PoppinOften. Duel often.